What is going on, everybody? You have broken the iron grip of Games Workshop. You've quit Warhammer 40k, you've quit Age of Sigmar, and now you're enjoying financial freedom. First off, we're going to talk about that in this video, and we're going to explore some alternative options. We're going to also just celebrate how wonderful it truly is to literally save millions of dollars a year, realistically hundreds, possibly thousands. But first of all, if you're new to the channel, I am the creator of the Ghost Paintbrushes. So we have an active Kickstarter right now. It is alive for about 11 more days. Only 2 stretch goals left to unlock. And I think you're really going to enjoy the new flats and filbert brushes, plus the terrain brushes and the new hobby texture tool. So go on, check out the link below. Ghost Brush Kickstarter going on now. Let's get into it. It really is no surprise why maybe you click this video, but you might just simply be tired of Games Workshop's major games, Warhammer 40k and Age of Sigmar, not only having some of the most ridiculously bad play-tested rules, but also you're experiencing the high luxury prices. And at some point, it breaks where you don't feel like there's value for the money. I personally think, yes, the games are terrible, and the miniatures are good, right? So, but in November last year, I actually picked up a 3D printer, and that sort of broke the spell that they make the best miniatures, because it's simply, I mean, first of all, of course, it's opinion, but it's just simply not true. Because what is the best, and when we're talking about 3D printers now, I know nothing about it. It's point and click, easy as can be. And these are examples of things I 3D printed for pennies on the dollar. Something like this could be 20 to 60 bucks. In Games Workshop, they probably cost me a couple dollars total for both of them. And these are just examples. For a new army box from Games Workshop at like $200 for a joke amount of models, 16 models in that Eldar Chaos box set. That's 20 Patreons you could join and literally get 200 new STL files to print amazing miniatures on a 3D printer. Now, like I said before, I don't know the hobby of it, and I was shocked how truly easy it was. I have the Mars 2 Pro, and I use the Soraya Tech Fast for my resin, and I've never had to adjust any settings. Another option, well, always wonderful joke and option, of course, is now it's time to paint those miniatures. You can break the mold, or the hold, I guess, of the sort of Games Workshop loop of trying to chase the new models with the new rules and whatnot. Take a break and just start painting all the models you got. That money has already been spent. Those models have been potentially sitting in your closet for years. So start sorting through them, get rid of some of them on eBay, and start painting up some of them. I've been really working hard on speed painting, trying to get models complete. I have things like the Reaper Bones 5 Kickstarter, and I'm trying to crank these all out and get them done. You know, if you're like me, you're overrun by the amount of models. Don't be afraid to pick up some new ghost brushes to paint those new models. But what a wonderful time. Take a break, get a ton of stuff painted if you're into the art side of the hobby. Another option, of course, is try a role-playing game. I know I said you quit Games Workshop, and this is a licensed Games Workshop product. But of course, as a fan of Games Workshop, or the lore or the worlds they've built, one of their role-playing games set in that world might give you a little bit of that feeling of, you know, being around the Warhammer universe. It might also be a good way to use some of those models that maybe you don't quite have a whole army worth, but maybe you have a Stormcast and a Priest and a Dwarf, right? You could play a role-playing game with your friends. Of course, there's infinite numbers of great role-playing games at all kinds of prices, including free. This one's pretty expensive. It's like a $60 rulebook, but the artwork's really cool. And, you know, if your store offers a discount, you have 20% off card or whatever, you know, maybe give this one a try. I haven't played it yet. I've just been looking through it. Another fun option, of course, would be Marvel Crisis Protocol. Now, this one is deceptively expensive. I believe the prices on this have continued to go up since I started. I don't buy as much as I did when I first started, but I have bought a lot, so I just don't really have a reason to buy more right now because I got quite a few characters I still need to paint. This is a fantastic game. The activations alternating. Once you start playing these games with alternating activations, you'll realize what a joke AOS is with double turns and what a joke 40k is with first turn alpha strikes in a basically shooting game. The game design is so poor. It is just unplayably bad. Absolutely terrible. And I know you have a ton of content creators that are out here uh, telling you how great all the new products are and this and that. But of course, they are shills and they have gotten the products for free. So they have to tell you they're great. I'm telling you, they're terrible. This, on the other hand, does not, I did not get any of this free. It is wonderful. It's really a great game. It's super fun. One thing that will cost you a lot of money is if you have that sort of collector in you, because you'll buy a character and then you'll be like, oh, uh, let's say Ghost Rider's in the same team as Blade and Moon Knight. And if I could reach them, I could pull up that box as well. And then you pick up Blade and Moon Knight. And then you're like, whoa, they can actually, they work well with Black Cat. So then you pick up Black Cat. And then you're like, well, Black Cat's also a spider foe. So I need to get Venom and Miles Morales. And you see what I'm going. Like, it really, really triggers the collectability part of the brain. So you don't, and it's weird too. When the new models come out, it's like, oh, I got to get the new ones, and they're not going anywhere for a while. But it's almost like the new comic book every week or the collectible cards or whatever. So check out Marvel Crisis Protocol. The best game right now is One Page Rules. This is free. They have a Patreon and a Tribes on My Mini Factory. You can get their STL files and print their models, but they have more advanced rules for like $5 a month. If you want to join their Patreon, not only do you get the models, you get all the updated, more advanced rules. But One Page Rules is really good. They're purposely designed to use your existing 40k armies and fantasy armies or any kind of sci-fi or fantasy miniatures you want to use to represent your units. It's alternating activations, which truly is just a better game design. In alternate, we play 5,000 point Age of Fantasy, which there can still be a blowout, but it never feels that way until much later. It's not like 40k where you just see who goes first and they win, and then you play it out for 3 hours. This game takes, in a small game, would take you maybe an hour, and then a 5k game probably take you 2.5 hours, maybe 3 if you're chatting. But right, the alternating activations, it's like, okay, if he goes and destroys something of yours or damages something of yours, you have an immediate chance to respond and do damage back to him. It's not like his whole army is wiping units off the board. And although it's not, every game's not, I guess, particularly, nail-biting close, we have had ones where at the end of 4 turns, you're just sitting there like, wow, that could go either way, or this one moment and this one moment, if they just slightly went different ways, the game could have fallen in the other player's hands or whatever. So One Page Rules, Age of Fantasy, Grimdark Future are just truly so good. If you want to take a break from buying constant rules creep, codex creep, meta chasing nonsense, unplay tested rules, check out One Page Rules. You can also give them feedback, and they make changes if they find something's wrong with the game. It's incredible, and it's free. I highly, highly recommend. You'll be surprised that when you start playing like Grimdark Future, especially if you can get a couple of your 40k friends to play with you, some people may like the crunch of trying to maximize whatever unplay tested broken crap has been published, and you could probably do that too in One Page Rules. It's just not really how I build an army of play. I generally just like taking an assortment of stuff, and then while I'm playing the game, like to try and win. I basically spend zero effort into army building, army planning, any of that. It's mostly has to do with what I've painted recently. It's like, ooh, let's say I painted the Beholder thing. 3D print, if I paint him up, maybe he's a Zinch Demon Prince or something. Maybe he's a Chaos Mortar. I don't know, whatever he is, right? Maybe this guy is, a Doom Bull. Maybe he's a Corn Demon Prince. It's funny when you get a 3D printer, everything's a Demon Prince. But you get what I'm saying. That's how I build a list. And a game like One Page Rules, you're not investing a ton of time. You roll so much less dice. Your brain does just not feel completely melted by the end of the game. There's no rerolls in the game, like at all, which is incredibly amazing for speeding up a game. It's amazing once you remove rerolls how much faster a game goes. Whereas the current design of a Sigmar and a 40K is, I don't know how to put it in words, but it's like a little toddler being like, like more. It's like the more is better always rule is how their games are designed right now. This, of course, is an exception. Blood Bowl is still a fantastic game. We are playing a Sevens Blood Bowl League. It's fantastic. But right now it feels like Games Workshop and the 40K and Age of Sigmar are just piling on more. They're like, oh, now you're strength 14 and you do 3d3 damage. Oh, whoa. And the people are like, oh my God, that's so cool. And then you're like, but now you get 2 wounds. Whoa, it's more. That must mean it's better. Take my money. But it's not. It's much, much worse. Something about it is awful right now. And of course, this could just be an opinion. It could be a phase where you go through different waves of what kind of games you like to play. Right now, I've been really interested in playing more Age of Fantasy one-page rules. I need to start playing some more Marvel again. I used to play this every weekend, all weekend. Took a break for a little bit, but I'm going to be playing this at Adepticon. So got to freshen up on my Marvel a little bit. Got a couple role-playing groups that I'm playing with, once a month or whatever. So I'm just exploring the gaming space. The most important thing to me is always painting the models. Some of the most fun I have at the game store is usually just when I go hang out and paint. They have a paint room at my local game store. Yes, I sell paintbrushes, so that makes a lot of sense, right? That I enjoy painting. But, having a great game with some friends is always fun. I'm not here to tell you that you can't play or enjoy Warhammer 40k 9th edition or Age of Sigmar 3. I'm telling you, I personally despise them right now. I think they're absolutely terrible. I think there's so many little cash grab, fake improvements to the game that they're charging you for that I can't do it right now. I'm taking a break. But of course, if you're having fun with your friends, don't even listen to my opinion on that. Like, just play whatever you're having the most fun with. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you are enjoying the $100,000 you just saved by quitting Warhammer 40k and the very much so free rules of one-page rules or whatever you're doing. Let me know in the comments if you've taken a break, if you really love or hate AOS or 40k right now. I was so excited for both 9th edition and AOS 3, and they both dropped the ball so hard and are so terrible that I think because of my excitement was high, I felt let down, and it's like much lower, right? Like the counterbalance or whatever, like when you're really excited, then the letdown's even worse. That's probably where I'm at right now. I honestly don't care if I'm buying their miniatures or whatever anymore. I still like a few of their paints quite a bit. And, if they come out with a Slanesh Blood Bowl team, I'll probably pick it up. Even though they're about to raise the price on Blood Bowl, sure they need to do that. And, yeah. We'll see what that new Necromunda's all about. I'll let you guys tell me if that's going to be good. The Ash Waste. I will not be picking it up. But I'll be down to play at the local store. If I have friends pick it up, then I'll be happy to paint up a crew or whatever you use. Or if you use Necromunda gangs, I got a lot of them. Warcry, what a horribly play-tested game that is, but with a lot of potential. It's really a fun game if you house rule quite a bit or play multiplayer battles with your buddies, like 4 people on one game. Then it's, pretty fun. One-on-one, it's just the unbalance and no play testing and just absolute lack of understanding of, I guess, game balance really destroys Warcry. And I've never played Aeronautica or Titanicus. I have no interest in doing so. The prices are stupid. So yeah, let me know what you guys are playing down below. If you've ran Soulbound, I would love to hear if you've played a RPG Soulbound campaign and how you played that. I've ran a few RPGs before, and this one you start at a much higher power level, and I'm curious how that sort of plays out. I'm used to, you start small and work your way up to some power. That one you start very high. So, that's a new avenue for me to explore if I'm going to run a game for some friends. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please bash me or Games Workshop or your favorite or whatever comments and games down below. Like button, thumbs up, love it. Subscribe button, thumbs up. Most importantly for me, of course, if you can go check out the Kickstarter, we're doing wonderful. There's about 10 days left. I would love for you to check it out. If you're a retail store and you want to carry the paintbrushes, please reach out. We'll be able to set you up. And by we, I mean me. I'm just a one-man thing. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.